こんばんは。Sensei です。よろしくお願いします。Good evening. This is Sensei, and it's nice to meet you. I just wanted to do a very quick video of the who, what, why, when, how words. Just so that if you want to ask a question, instead of just knowing the word what, you can't really say what was that if you're talking about a person. You'd say, oh, who was that, wouldn't you? So, and instead of like, what is the park, you would want to know where the park is. So I thought I should write down the words. Firstly, we have what at the top, and then obviously we have nan, nan, or we have nani. This is the kanji for it. It's a very easy kanji, very common as well. So nani ga, and then nani wa. For the word for who is dare, dare. Dare, this is just the kanji for dare. This is also quite a common kanji, but you don't really need to know it too much. But what is very common. So nan or nani, you would usually see this. And if this with a ka, it's usually nani ka. Instead of nan ka. If you put the ka, it's just kind of making the subject of, I don't know how to explain. Instead of putting ka at the very end of a sentence, then having ka after a question word, like dali ka, it's more of an emphasis on not knowing who it is. But maybe I'll find a better way of doing that in the future for the explaining. So for the word where is doko, doko. The word when is itsu, itsu. And why there is two. There's doshite, doushite. And then the more common everyday spoken would be nande. So if someone isn't in work or school today, if you say doshite, you sound a lot more concerned and serious, like a really serious drama thing is happening. But if you just say nande, it's just like, oh, why are they not well? Type of reaction response, so more natural and common. For the word how, I wrote the two general ones. It's do yatte, which sounds a bit more serious, and it's kind of like in what way or how did something happen. And then donna, if you put something after it, such as kanji for feeling, donna kanji, would be more like a how did you feel emotionally, or what kind of emotion did you feel. So it's not really a how, but it's kind of like how did you feel in that way, but I guess they have their own limits. There's not really a how. Doyatte I always found a lot more serious. So it's more like if someone's fallen on a riverbank and broke their arm, and then the parents is like, how the hell did this happen? Kind of thing. Rather than just, oh, how do you make bread? So that's just a quick look at the what, who, where, when, why, how, and just a couple of different ones. So nan or nani, nanika, or nan desu ka for what is this. Could just put desu ka, desu being positive and current, or future. It's just asking what is this, quite politely. If you say nanika, that's quite an informal way as well. If you just put ka, dalika. Maybe if you hear a noise upstairs but you're home alone, and if you shout up your stairs, if you're in a house and you're just like dalika, you're just angrily saying, who is that up the stairs? And actually, yeah, for informal, the doko for where, you just say doko ka. It's quite an informal way of just saying, wait, where are we talking about right now? And itsuka, if you're meeting friends later, instead of being so formal and you'll be it's desu ka, then you can just say, oh, itsuka, and they'll be like, oh yeah, at 5. Yeah, oh, okay. See you later, Janet. And go home, and then go meet at 5. doshite for why, like I already said. It's not really doshite ka, because that doesn't work, really. But doshite desu ka is quite an emotional way of asking why. Nande, a lot more informal, and quite common, and pretty much just, oh, why is that? But with less kind of like emotional heaviness and concern. I always think doshite is a lot more emotional. So donna is pretty much like how did something feel, well, if you put kanji for feel, but how something is. And doyate is a bit more serious of like, how the hell did this happen, in my opinion, between the two. But how I never really use how at all. I mostly use itsu, dare, nani, or nan, and then nande. And I guess if something bad happened, I would say doyate. Like, how did that happen though? Like, are you not being careful? So thank you very much for watching. I'm really tired. So I'm going to go to bed soon. And お疲れ様でした. Thank you for all your hard work. And see you later. Oh, and don't forget to try and learn at least the what, who, where, why, and when. Just so that if you want to ask questions, then you know which words to put in. Because if you always... Oh, my cat just ran off. Anyway, if you always ask what, then it could be really rude if you're saying, what was that? And you just pointed to like the new colleague at work. You'd rather say, who was that? Instead of like, what's going on, or what to go. That wouldn't make sense. You'd have to be asking where to go and stuff. So these are quite important to use. And with some different contexts as well. So I'd suggest nande for why, just... And also, at least it's just the word de on nande. Just kind of like why. It's a lot easier and more formal, informal, and common compared to doshite. It's really emotional for me. So this is just some question words. And お疲れ様でした. See you later, and thank you for your hard work. じゃあね.